Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Claws, Fangs, and Revolvers, our Wild West Werewolf Expedition. I'm the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening. In our last episode, we were missing our Theurge. In this episode, we're missing our Galliard, but we left off with establishing that a couple of weeks had passed since the incident in the mines where they had to fight the Stormborn bears. Um, and we learned that the mine collapsed. It is now Sunday, the 17th of October. Um, we also established that Ardyce and Pepe are living in the brothel with Cora. Uh, we established that the Cairn has recognized them as a pack and has given Cora a place on the War Council table. Uh, the ruling council of the Gilded Apple, however, burst into Pepe's room to drench him in water as it had been an equal amount of time since he had bathed himself, and he was given the rules of having to be bathed at least once a week to keep his room in the establishment. We saw that Garrett still doesn't understand how blind people work as he tried to show Ardyce a magic trick. But we got to see one of the girls from the other establishment that we don't say out loud. Francine had an interaction with something in the woods to the east across the river that a lot of people weren't concerned about, at least not in the way that she was, as they dismissed her as having just kind of witnessed a bear and let her imagination run wild. But when she told the story to Cora, to Pepe, and to Ardyce, she described how she saw a spider the size of a bear, and the group immediately decided to investigate the situation. Um, there were thoughts that maybe some of the Stormborn had escaped the mines and taken different shapes, but when they came out to the site, they were told they noticed that these were not Stormborn, and that these were in fact Texas tarantulas that had multiplied. So instead of just the one, they had to deal with several, almost a full dozen of smaller torso-sized spiders that Cora made short work of. Uh, Ardyce and Pepe tried their best to keep up, but clearly an Ahroun in Krino's form, allowed to let off some steam, is a sight to behold. Uh, but we did leave off with the group um, checking in on the girls at the Gilded Apple before heading to church to appease Ardyce uh, in her desire to want to sing to the Lord. I am getting over a cold, so I might be coughing a little bit. I apologize in advance, but it's good to see all your faces again gathered here before us. Um, since we did not get to see Walks with Spirits last time, let's open up with him. We're gonna find you in the cemetery just outside the church. Uh, you are the only one that seems to keep coming around, shooing off animals, checking to make sure that he is in fact still dead, um, and not a risen corpse infested with worm emanations of any kind. Because I don't
Those
know
spiders.
who would do that to somebody. Or even, yeah, the Weaver. The Weaver, in its infinite wisdom, might have chosen him as a husk. But so far, so good. He is dead. He has returned to the wheel. And um, on this occasion, as you are hanging out in front of his crooked little wooden cross with a misspelled uh, name for him, because nobody knows how to actually write Cartwright. Um,
His mother didn't pay for the tombstone.
his family, no, not at all.
Oh, oh.
No.
See, I've been here. I know this is consecrated ground, but not consecrated by us. And so there's a rite of cleansing that needed to be done.
What?
All sorts of animals. And despite what may have been a noble sacrifice, or may have been foolishness, still worried he might just come back.
It
That kind of thing happens.
is not unheard of, so it does behoove you to kind of keep an eye on the grave. Excuse me.
After a few weeks, after a month, the next moon,
Yeah,
then they ain't coming back.
yeah. But you notice that as you're sitting out there, kind of keeping an eye out, just being one with nature, you see this about average sized wolf coming towards you. It is eyeballing the surrounding area, making sure that there's no one looking towards him. He it looks a little scrawnier than average. Its fur is a deep red, uh, almost like dried blood. There are patches of orange, and in the candlelight, they do kind of almost look like they are themselves a wolf of candlelight. Um,
Mhm.
as the orange and certain streaks become yellowish as it comes closer. But
I greet it.
it bows its head at you, um, and in the wolf tongue, you hear it. You, Theurge, yes,
Yes.
Cora.
Yes. Ahroun.
Uh, it pads 3 times in front of itself, calls to fire, bows again.
Mm. Does it indicate a direction?
Yeah, you see him kind of tilt his head to behind the church itself, and you can hear there's clapping. The singing is about to start, um, and it kind of startles, and you see his stance widens, and his fur kind of stands on edge as he doesn't understand what this signifies. Uh, he looks agitated.
Go. This is a bad place for you. I'll join them. So I'll make my way. Well, I'll make sure that I can see him or her leave
Yeah,
the churchyard safely,
and it
and
starts to
then
back
make my way
away,
around.
careful of the church and its noise. Um, as Cora, Pepe, and Ardyce are coming up, they see Walsh's spirits in the cemetery, kind of getting up, dusting himself off. It looks like he's looking off at something in the shadows, out beyond the church itself. The priest sees what's it called? Ardyce kind of coming up, and his smile widens, his arms come outward, as almost as if it is Jesus himself welcoming a member of his flock. And then his eyes kind of fall on the two of you that are flanking her. Um, so this is your moment to go in with Ardyce into the church where the clapping has started. The organ is starting its tune. It sounds like a Amazing Grace is about to play, but you do have your Theurge as an easy out, at least for the two of you.
Oh, and I will, as I've done more than once in these past few weeks, intercept them for matters that need discussing.
Yep.
An artist, can take her time.
Yeah, and the priest is named Father Eugenio Mateo Horizonte, um, and he gladly just kind of holds his hands out, takes Ardyce's hands, and happily leads her in, uh, as Walks with Spirits kind of intercepts the two of you.
You have started a fire.
Fire?
Fire.
I was told there was a fire that needs tending to.
Well, I did start a fire. Couple of them
Did you put
actually.
it out?
And I look at Cora. I look at Walks with Spirits. I look at my feet. Look at Cora. Look at Walks with Spirits. Look at my feet. Look at the clouds. Look at Cora. I don't remember.
Malaka. She just kind of turns 180. It's one of those stiff 180s.
It all happened so fast.
You start a fire in the woods, you put it out. What kind of wolf are you?
A bad wolf?
Apparently.
Very bad wolf?
And she's starting to walk back to where the fight happened. She's shaking her head.
There's no glow. There's no embers of a fire, but there is just this pillar of black smoke.
I look. Is it in the same direction that I lit the fires to put out the spiders?
Yep.
No. And I look at Watch Whispers. There is a possibility.
You can tell me of the adventure along the way.
Come on.
But
what evils merited this fire?
Ardyce is in good hands with Cone Padre.
She likes it in there. It's fine. It's fine. She'll be fine.
This is fine.
All right, let's go put up my fire.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna do it.
I mean, let's go.
Yep, let's go. And she is just muttering Greek swear words under her breath the entire time.
You see, as you're heading back, you are joined by the same kind of scraggly-looking red wolf. Once you get outside the city limits, it kind of has stalked you to the point where it's followed you.
This is our friend, my friend who told me of the fire.
And he pads the ground in front of him 3 times, and he calls to the two of you. Falls to fire.
Would we recognize this wolf specifically? We've been here now a bit.
There's a few red talons that come and go from the cairn, but someone with this, distinct pattern, you haven't seen around before.
So we know he's not one of them, the top people in the cairn or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It isn't Charlie.
Yeah, no.
My boy Ward.
No. Charlie's still in the cairn. But he does kind of show reverence. He says, in the wolf tongue, red talon, Ragabash, Cleath.
Ragabash. And what was that last part?
Cliath.
Can you spell that?
Cliath.
Clith.
Cliath.
Cliath.
It's his rank
Mhm.
in the tribe.
Cliath. Ah.
Yep.
No
All
name?
of you are Cliath.
Mm-hmm. And so Cora doesn't show like full on bowing reverence, but there is a recognition.
Nombre? No name?
Calls to fire.
Oh, that's what we're here. We're here to put out the fire. Yes.
Shakes his head. No.
That
Name.
is
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Like Smokey.
Calls to fire. Calls to fire. Calls to fire. Got it.
Told you help trouble north. And you see him point with his nose.
Is there more trouble?
And then he kind of he nods, and then he kind of stops, and you see his head kind of tilt back, and then his head tilts to the side. More?
Other trouble?
Yes.
Oh.
What trouble is it that you speak of? Calls to fire.
Spirit trouble north. Trout. Worm. Weaver. Humans. You see him kind of retch, like he hates the word.
And is north the direction that the fire was in?
No, they went across the river
Oh.
to the east.
So let me get this straight. We have fire that I have to put out, and there's trouble to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Look, the fire is my mistake. So I'll go out the fire, and I can catch up with you both to the north.
Are you sure you want to go by yourself? We just ran off some pretty big spiders.
I don't think they'll be coming back around after you,
The
Chica.
Weaver?
You should have seen her walks with spirits. She was there, and yeah,
Ardyce.
yeah.
It's my job.
Just don't get her upset, because you're gonna get that on you. You think those spiders are gonna come back? I don't think so.
I was just
She's
concerned that
Ahroun. We do not upset her.
that is true. And Cora does kind of stand there a little tall for a second. Kind of looking into the middling distance as she kind of dusts off a little.
Hero pose into the
Yeah, right? Hands on the
Finally, some
hips.
respect.
cue Cora's theme song.
A harpsichord starts playing in the background somewhere.
Yep. Just the Xena theme song. The Xena theme song would work perfect here.
Yeah. Somewhere, a lone theremin is playing that song for you.
Yes.
Oh.
But if you're sure, Pepe, I will let you do this. But I will say this. If you do not come back, I will be finding you myself.
We can see the big fire in the distance, right? The giant pillar of smoke.
It's just smoke. It is just smoke.
Yeah.
There's no glowing embers, there's no roaring fire.
As there's a saying amongst my people, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Pepe, on your honor, you shall go and deal with this. and we will head forward towards the north with our new friend here.
Okay, I'll follow along and
And
catch up.
the the lupus looks up at you. Leave trail. Easy race.
Mm.
And as he starts to lead them, you do see that every so often he'll just like the back of his body just kind of squats just a little lower, and there's just a little spurt of liquid. But he takes you to the north. And out of the village, there's a bit of hillside, and as you crest one of the hills, you see this beautiful lake that seems to feed into the river and the tributaries that kind of lead down towards the city itself and out towards the mines. And one side, uh, just beyond the lake's eastern edge, you can see what looks to be some felled logs that have created a kind of dam. And there is what looks to be a man-made tributary that's leading off past some hills, and calls to fire points in that direction. Hear it. Trapped. Help. Kill. And it kind of nudges at Cora's thigh. Will follow.
Walks with Spirits, would you like to start first? We need to know exactly what we're dealing with and to see if we can help without bloodshed if need be.
Okay. I'm gonna try to reach out and see if there's any minor spirits around who could point very more specifically to, is it the river? Is it the encampment? What's the safe way around? I know there's all danger
Yeah.
from calls to fire, but
Yeah, you can easily climb down the hillside and use either the lake itself or part of the river. Just step sideways.
Mm.
Um, but if I could have both of you, or would Cora let Walks lead her to the Umbra?
Well, he is the Theurge, so she would trust his guidance, especially after the things we've been through together.
and then I'd offer my hand as we
Okay. So yeah, so
shift.
only Walks with Spirits needs to roll his gnosis to break the gauntlet.
Okay, and this is just straight gnosis.
Straight gnosis.
What was this?
Don't
Okay.
roll a botch. Don't roll a botch. Don't roll a botch. Don't roll a botch. Yeah, roll a botch.
10, 3, 7.
Oh, you only have gnosis 3? Cute.
Yes.
That's adorable.
I was just thinking that. Should we?
That's adorable. So yes, you're
Is that what these experience points are good for? I've got a pile of those.
Someone get this Theurge a sandwich.
Right?
A spirit sandwich.
Spirit sandwich. Yeah, out here the gauntlet is not terrible. Even in the city, that is conflict, it wouldn't be too rough. We haven't seen a city like New York yet. So 2 successes is incredibly fine. You start to step sideways. You pull Cora with you. You see that calls to fire. Step sideways once he sees you stepping. And on this side, you see the lake looks vibrant. Even here, it looks more vibrant. The shimmer of the moonlight against it is beautiful. It is almost blinding. There are certain angles that, as you're coming down, if something disrupts it in such a way that it does cast bright flashes. Uh, you can see that there are some trouts that are kind of splashing about on both sides of the man-made um, dam. Uh, and as you get closer, you see that there is this thick trout spirit that has gotten itself caught in the webbing of the dam itself. Uh, and it's kind of not splashing about, but it is every so often just excuse me, kind of like a fish in its death throes. It is every so often there would just be a bend back and forth of it accepting that it's still stuck. And there's this melancholic, sad look to its face. On this side, the spiritual trout are only on the side that looks man-made, uh, and they look small. They look thin, um, almost like they're fading away. And there are spiders that are just crawling all over this trout spirit, and you can see that they have already sectioned it off, um, and they're trying to incorporate the trout spirit into the what would be the dam spirit, the conglomeration of that webbing. Pieces of the trout spirit are already starting to become less curved. Like his scales are less curved and starting to become very geometric.
Oh no, that's not good.
Would I know if there's still time? Is there still hope to save the Truck Spirit?
Find out. Give me an do intelligence and occult.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cold. Okay. And that's just
And we'll do difficulty 6.
so, sorry, what was the difficulty?
6. So 6 equal to or higher than 6
no.
is a success on your dice.
Oh no, no, no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Uh, no. What's a negative success? I've got
A
3
botch?
ones,
If you
3
have
ones, and only 2 successes.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's a botch.
Okay, well
Yeah.
hold on. You have 3 ones,
Mm-hmm.
but you do have successes.
2 successes.
Okay. So you just have a failed roll.
Okay.
You have to get no successes to botch.
Ah.
Yeah. Before it was like, oh, did you roll more ones? You're dead.
That's exactly what I was.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so used to that, the ones negating the successes, and then
Yeah.
if you still have a negative, oh, you're fucked.
No. You are lucky you got successes at all. So it just turns it into a regular failed roll. As of right now, to you, you've never seen anything like this before. The Weaver is something that you don't have a lot of experience with, especially now that you lost your Iron Rider. So this looks like it is too late for the trout itself.
The spider has taken the beaver's domain. It may be too late.
What should we do then?
The rest of the spirits are still in danger, though.
The spirits in the lake seem to be not jumping out of joy, but out of preservation. It looks like they're trying not to be in the water itself.
We may yet save the small ones. And any work against the Weaver is a good work.
That's understandable. But storyteller, you
Yeah.
said they are trying not to be in the water.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that there's something in the water that's not good.
Yeah, maybe.
Presumed it was the taint of the damming.
Yeah,
But
make a perception and alertness roll.
I'm not
Cora.
here for gimmies, but I was just very much like, whew. You said a perception alertness.
Perception
Okay.
alertness. We'll say difficulty 5.
Three successes.
Okay, excuse me.
I got a 7, a 3, a 7, and a 9.
Okay. You see that on either side of the dam, the water is starting to lose its brilliance. Whereas it would have appeared blue or a light green, there's a dark, sickly color to it. The entire tributary, the man-made tributary, is a dark, dark, sickly green color. And it looks like it's starting to spread. You can see that some of the flora around the dam itself have started to take on a more aggressive sheen. Bushes seem to have brambles that are a little longer than they should be. Any of the trees that still have leaves, the edges seem to sheen almost like a knife's edge. Here in the Umbra, at least, it looks like the area around this place is starting to become aggressive.
Doesn't like that. And Cora's going to point this out to Walks of Spirit. Look. The color's changing.
Weaver's corruption.
Things are getting sharper.
We can do something here.
Yes, we need to. Do you have anything that might work, or are we going to be doing this the old-fashioned way?
Well, so we may try to cleanse the area, but perhaps this is something to be done with the earth to undo the dam that the Weaver has taken. Perhaps just breaking the dam would be sufficient. We can see if further cleansing is needed.
All right. I yield to our wise Theurge's advice.
Yep.
And
So how big a dam are we talking about? This is like 100 feet across the
No,
river.
no.
Is this redwoods that have been felled?
In the Umbra, it looks much more massive than it actually is. It does look like this structure, and if you get closer, it does look like it becomes less of a dam and more of a cage. The closer you get, almost like this was inevitable for the trout spirit. And this is not a trout spirit in that it is like, a trout sized spirit. This is a representation of trout. The
Yeah.
trout that normally inhabit the lake, but that have traveled south for warmer waters, or to avoid the bears. Um, Coming out of the Umbra is simple, and as you do, you see calls to fire starts to get bigger, and you see that he, having listened to your plan, has taken it upon himself to start to shift his way up towards his bow. And you can see him now being massive, and his head goes from being at about your waist level to actually being like face to face with you. He is a quadrupedal monster. Well, this is going on. What is Pepe doing?
After after listening to that, Pepe's kind of glad that he went north, ran in the direction of the fire. Shit.
Right?
Yeah. So Pepe is there, heading towards the smoke. He takes a couple sips from his flask to quench his thirst. And I start pondering everything that Cora was saying, and I'm like, man, maybe they should have come. I start doubting my decision. You know what? And I'm gonna go ahead and use sense worm just in case.
Okay.
To make sure things are good.
Sure.
So yeah, I guess
It is not a terrible roll.
it's a perception plus occult.
Mm-hmm.
Concentration and strength. Okay.
Yep.
It's taught by any spirit servant of the Gaia.
Yep.
So let me see what my perception is. Perception is 3. Occult is 2. So 5 dice. Yeah. I got fudge.
Okay.
2 10s, a 3, and 2 1s.
Okay. You start to smell the air, and you're not in a form where smell is a forte. So as you start to sniff the air, you can smell a little bit of the evergreens, but then you just get this big nose full of smoke.
Okay, not too bad.
Yeah. But
Good, Pepe.
you're pretty sure that there's nothing worm related around here.
And I walk a little bit more with my head up high now, a little bit more like, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Still every now and then looking from the corner of my eye, and every now and then looking behind me just in case.
About the third time that you turn around to make sure nobody's following you, you see this sandy colored creature that you haven't seen in a long time. At least not this far west and north. There's little white tipped paws, a white tip of a tail, of a bushy tail, and just this very slender face and ears that perk up. And as you turn around and see him, he kind of stops, and there's a surprised look on his face. Like you didn't hear him at all. And you turning around on him just kind of startled him as much as it startles you. And you see immediately his legs are like a sawhorse. It just shoots outward. He stopped, and he's got this face like, Looking at me?
Are you looking at me? It's a fox, I'm guessing?
It is Coyote.
Coyote. Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. Coyote. I look at the coyote. I'm like looking at it and I'm like, are you following me?
Are you being followed by me?
That's a good trick there.
It nods.
What's your name, caballero?
Caballero.
Hmm. Bueno, I'm going that way. You're more than welcome to keep me company. Or not. Continue doing what you were doing. Just and I take a couple of steps back, still keeping an eye, and I'm actually going,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, I turn around, turn back around.
It has not moved.
Oh, gosh, why does this happen to me? I'm gonna go over there. Where are you going? So we don't, I don't want to bother you. We don't cross
No.
paths.
You go where you go. I go where I go.
No, that's what I said. Okay, voy para allá. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Okay. Hasn't moved.
And I take a couple more steps. I turn around, take a couple of steps, and then I turn back around at him.
Frozen in place.
Man, I wish we had cell phones. I would have called Cora right now and asked Cora about this. Like, hey, helpline.
Maybe splitting party is kind of
I'm gonna dig into Pepe's brains and find out. Do I recall this type of creature, or is it one of us? Is it one of us shapeshifters?
Give me intelligence and occult.
Intelligence. He's not too bad. 5 dice. I got a 9, 1, and 3 threes.
Okay. You've heard stories of coyotes having been a thing. They're revered by certain tribes of the Native Americans. Um, Welsh spirits definitely might have some input about this. Um, but you also do know that there is an entire uh, there was at least at some point were coyotes, um, but they're extinct according to lore.
Hmm.
They were killed off in the War of Rage.
Well, you know what? I gotta really put this fire out and catch up with My friends. I don't got time to play ball with you right now. I'm gonna.
No time.
That's what I said. No time. No time at all.
No,
so,
you're right. You're right. There's no time.
So you're gonna stay here.
I'm gonna stay here.
I'm going to stay here.
You're gonna stay here.
I just turn back around and just head towards the smoke.
Okay.
Doing this. Nope. Not falling for this trap. Not falling for this trap. And I'm actually saying that as he walks. I'm not falling. No.
Yeah. And you see that it has come up to you at the side, like it's walking side by side with you, and it's just like you are too good for this trap. You're not gonna fall for this trap.
Wait, what trap?
No. There can't be a trap. You can't fall for it.
Wait a minute now. You make a trap you're talking about.
No. Okay, trap. Where do you see a trap? You can't see a trap because you would have fallen for it, but there's no trap, so you haven't fallen for it.
I won't be falling for any trap.
No.
No falling. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Right. You can't fall if you walk, and you see it start to strut next to you.
It's still on all fours?
Mhm.
Okay. I wonder if Cora will let you stay at her place too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Come on, amigo. Let's just go then. You and I, we'll go put out the fire then.
Yeah, that's not a trap.
Okay. Keep saying trap, and
You said trap first.
I did say that first, only because
So you know where the trap is.
no, there's no trap though. That's the thing. Wouldn't be a trap. There is no trap. Why are we talking about a trap? Why do you keep bringing up a trap? Is there a trap?
You know there's a trap. Are you a trap? And then it just stops. He's like, am I a trap? And then you just see it fall onto its back, giggling.
We are both traps, amigo. Both traps, you and I. Vámonos, let's go. And I head towards the smoke.
Yep. And it follows you the rest of the way there. And when you get there,
guess what's coming home?
You get there and you just see the charred remains of this hole in the ground. the blackened husk of the tree that you set on fire. But there is no inferno.
Great. No fire.
No trap.
I think that's. Wait a minute. I'm not in the trap.
No.
Cora and Walks with Spirits fell for the trap.
That's a trap.
That's the trap. Oh my. Oh. It was never a fire. All's what fire was lying to us. They went into a trap.
And then you see it shakes its head and it becomes this human male.
Oh gosh.
About your size, but with the same appearance as Walks with Spirits. It's got a tan skin, light gray eyes, long black hair. And you can just see symbols that have been drawn ritualistically into his skin. And there's a walking stick that emerges out of his fur that becomes part of his essence, and he just fucking taps you on the top of your head. He goes, "Don't set a fire in my forest again and leave it. Tonto."
I school people don't. I bow my head and I am so sorry.
Yeah. Don't let it happen again.
It won't. It won't happen again.
Bad enough, I gotta deal with the spiders by myself.
There's still more spiders.
Oh, there's
I
always
thought
spiders.
we- What can we do to help? What can I do to help to make up for my beautiful, not so beautiful handiwork?
Yeah, more like not beautiful. Go get your friends, and we can go hunt this big spider.
The big spider. But wait, are my friends in a trap?
I don't know. Are you in a trap right now?
Just give them a look. Okay, okay. I'll come back. I mean, you can come with me.
No, no. Okay. You can set another fire, then have me put it out? No. Jódete.
No, but I told you I wasn't gonna do that. Eso fue una vez.
Okay, well. Bring your friends.
Okay, okay. Wouldn't happen to know a shortcut or anything, right?
Oh,
So I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to go.
Tírate para arriba ahí. Go in the river. Swim across.
Swim across the river.
Yeah, water's nice.
I'm sure it's nice. I had a bath earlier this morning.
Oh. That's a trap.
That was a trap, actually. I told you, they tricked me.
Yeah,
I was there sleeping and they just threw water at me.
Yeah, that sounds like a woman did that to you.
It was actually two women and a man.
Oh, what you do with who you do it with, eso para ti. You do it what you want to do. That's your trap.
No. I have to now take a bath once a week at least. Pepe never takes baths. It smells great. It smells fresh.
Yeah. That's a trap.
Okay.
That's a smelly trap.
Okay. Let me go see what's up with my friends because they could be in the trap and you're still stalling me. And
Yeah. Remember,
Disculpe,
you're in a trap.
I apologize. Disculpe, perdón, for the fire. We will come back and we will hunt down the big spider.
Yeah. Vamos. And you see him pull out a knife. He looks into it and he steps sideways into the Umbra.
I should have gone with him.
Yeah, you should have.
Hello? Oh, gosh, I hate it when they do that. Why? Why this life?
Give me a dexterity and athletics check for me, please.
Dexterity and athletics. Great.
Difficulty 7.
Is that to avoid?
Oh, I have no athletics, so just dexterity.
Okay, then it's difficulty 8.
Great. I have a 3, 2, and a 7.
Okay. You call out to him for a little bit, and when you know that he is definitely gone, you go to take a step towards the river, and you fall on your face. Unbeknownst to you, at some point, he did in fact tie your legs together.
My legs? I don't wear laces. I have boots.
There is some kind of vine, some kind of rope work, twine. It looks like it's homemade.
Oh, that's the trap. I just fall flat on my face. I roll over on my belly and I just start laughing. That's the trap. That's the trap. And I just start laughing like an idiot to myself.
And we go back to Cora and Walks of Spirits, who are not dealing with a Nuwisha.
I certainly would like to, if you know what I mean.
But given that I've given you time to
Hey,
figure out your
Cora.
path, what do you want to try to do with this proud spirit?
Move big log.
Move the logs. Try and free it
Okay.
if we can save it. That is.
In the real world, the dam looks to be maybe about 20 to 25 feet wide, or long, as the logs use length. Um, it looks like the river itself is maybe um 18 feet wide. It's maybe 5 or 6 feet deep. It looks like it's been just rafted out to be a sifting river. Uh, this There's a tunnel not too far away that you can see. There's a lantern at the mouth of it. It looks like an undeclared mining tunnel. But you also see that there's holes in the dam to let the water through. They're bigger on one side than the other, and it almost looks like they're designed to catch fish. And you can see that there are some carcasses of fish that have come into the dam that have not been collected yet. And there's little scavengers like crabs and snails that are already starting to eat at it.
I don't like this. Why can't you fish a normal way?
They're never satisfied. Move log.
Indeed, move log. And since I see our associate going into Hipspo,
Mhm.
I will follow suit.
Okay. Stamina Primal Urge, unless you want to use a rage point to shift automatically.
Let me take a look. All right. I was tempted to use the rage just to do it, but
Is there a different difficulty to move Hamid to Hispo than to Glabro?
No, the half forms are equally as difficult
Okay.
to go into. The pure forms are easier to shift into. So going into Hamid if you're lupus is easier than going into Hispo, uh, because they're part mythology, part throwback.
Mm.
So it's a little more difficult to kind of guesstimate their shape, the right width, the right length, things like that.
you got 3 successes over here on the.
All right. Yeah, it is almost like breathing for Cora. You take one step as a Hamid, and the next step is just her kind of coming down and padding on all fours. What is Cora's Ispo form look like?
Um, I've kind of always pictured it as kind of like this silvery tundra style dire wolf. There is like a little black marking on the from the snout up to the forehead, just a little bit, before we start getting into some more orangey striping, because her Krynos form is a little bit more gray and brown
Okay.
than black. But you got some hints there.
All right. Uh, is Walker Spirit gonna go into Glabro?
No, with two examples in front of me,
Yeah.
I think I can better estimate Hispo,
Okay.
even though it's been a long month without
Yeah.
She does
without any of this
do
kind of
kind of
shifting.
a stretch, trying to get things aligned. It's weird.
Oh yeah. There's popping, and
Yeah.
it's like this is how popcorn starts. Is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's the role based off for?
It is stamina and primal urge.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
oh yeah, you got a good dice pool for that.
2 successes. It's
Okay.
7, right?
So, yeah, 7. Okay. So yeah, you see the two of them are just these massive, dire wolves. Cora is easily, if Pulse to Fire is already looking at you eye to eye level in his perform, Cora's got a good foot and a half over him. So you gotta like literally look up to see, look into her eyes. She's looking down. It is clear that this is an Ahroun. There's a big difference between the Ahroun and the Ragabash shapes. And as you kind of take note of their size, you start to feel the claws kind of shifting down, your fingers kind of contracting into the paws, but they're a little bigger, and you take your time coming down, but you do assume your massive Hispo form. What does Walks of Spirits form look like?
I'm Wendigo and from the far north, and so I'm a very light gray with very seldom changes in that coloration. But the fur around my paws is black to match the Blackfoot moccasins.
Okay, I like it.
He got booties. He got booties. I love that. I love it. It's beautiful.
Uh, and how would you like to go about destroying or moving these logs?
Well, this is where the rune can lead on a physical task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my input is complete, and
There's
now it's
definitely-
like how and where to fuck it
Yeah.
up.
Have you ever played fetch before? Oh, sorry. Hold on. I have to get into Hispo mode. Have you ever played fetch before?
Prologue.
Exactly. And that's exactly what she's doing. She is going for one of these logs and she is trying to grab it and then use the full force of her body to spin it and chuck it.
Nice. Yeah, you see as Cora leaps forward and just kind of bites down on this log and just pulls up. You can see the ropes that had been waterlogged and used to tie these together easily just start to snap. There are what looks like wooden wedges that have been driven into the logs to kind of keep them in place. You hear them snap and break. The red talon just kind of, you see him just starting to kind of get excited, and so the front of his body just kind of starts to go up and down. The tail starts to wag. Uh, and between Walks of Spirits and Calls to Fire, there's just the smallest of little feet padding forward as you see this little coyote kind of come up between the two of you and just looks up. Yeah, this is a trap. And as he says that, you see the trout spirit that was caught in the Umbra thrash into existence here in the real world. And as it does, it sends the logs up into the air, but they crack and come down, and you see that they have this web-like tendons that create these three-part segmented kind of spider legs coming out of the trout's body, and the mouth unhinges down, and there's this massive roar, and you hear thunder clap above you, and you can see that you are here at the birth of a stormborn creature. Initiative,
Too
please.
late.
We gotta kill it! Kill it with fire! Kill it!
Fire in the woods.
Good luck, good luck, my pack mates.
You'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Yeah,
He was right. It was a trap.
it was a trap. Coyotes aren't terrible people.
No, they're not.
They try to warn you.
So it's Dex plus what for initiative?
So it's, excuse me, 1 dice.
Or perception? And
then-
it's just one.
Yeah, it's 1 dice. You roll it, and you add whatever your dexterity and your wits would total out to be.
Okay.
We got 16 over here.
Ooh. Pepe, roll for me so I know when to add you.
We got 10 total.
10 total. What did Pepe get?
What am I rolling for initiative?
It's 1 dice, and then you add whatever your dex and wits add up to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a 5 and my dex and wits 3, 7, 12.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, Cora, you start us off. No, sorry. The fish declares, then walks, then Cora, and then we activate Cora. Walks fish. So the fish is going to try to bite Cora. What does Walks want to declare for this round?
So wasn't all that was going down at us was the Stormborn now fish
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
not an actual net. I thought we
No,
were getting like
No,
trapped
no.
under a. Okay.
no. The webbing, basically the weaving of the spider webs, has become tendons and musculature to hold these shattered logs together in a kind of spider like appendage. So it has these 8, 4 and 4 on either side, these 4 legs that it's holding itself up on. Its rear fin, the tail fin, has become just this kind of bearded axe of an edge. The mouth, like I said, unhinged, and it is wide. It looks like this monstrous gullet, and you can see that it is ejecting water out of its gills.
Okay. Okay. I will try to go at one of its legs that's close to me and far from
Right?
Cora.
So you're gonna attack a leg, and what is Cora gonna do?
Cora is going right for the face of this thing. We're
Okay.
gonna go and we're gonna bring it into Bite Town, occupation, that fucking thing.
You know who I forgot? I forgot your little red talon friend.
Yeah. Kind of important.
Yep. He got an 11, so he will also attack this thing. All right. So Cora, you get to activate first, so you do have unbridled openness at this thing.
Yeah. Alright, so, yep. Gotta remember.
Your stats have
This-
changed.
Yeah, I've got the stats changed. I did do the thingy. So bite is that's a strength and it's brawl, right?
Yep.
Yep. I was making sure.
Apologies.
All right. That's a lot of dice. Okay, we've got the lowest thing I rolled was a 5, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 dice.
Ooh,
Number 8.
you hit it.
Okay.
Roll your strength +1 for bite.
Yeah. And I always have to double check because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in Hispo now. So
His full strength.
yeah,
Um,
that's 7 dice.
ooh. Yeah, it hurts to be a Ragabash and not have the stats that you need to be a fighter.
Yep. We got 3.
3. You leap up at this thing. It's got an unhinged jaw that's already hanging low, so you've got a clear target to kind of give you a place to bite into, and you chomp into what would be this part of its jaw, and even with your teeth kind of clamping down, and you can feel uh, your fangs kind of almost touching from how hard you're biting. You don't feel a snap, you don't feel a crack, and the scales of this thing feel almost like carbon fiber. Like they feel like actual rail iron worthy.
Yeah.
And you see the red talon leaps up, follows your example, and jumps onto the other jowl. And you hear him, the red talon, yelp out in pain, and you can see that some of the scales have actually cut into its jaw, and it kind of has leaped off. Walks. You going after a leg?
Yeah.
It might be a little safer.
So, yeah, maybe. But I'm also significantly weaker, so
You're a werewolf. You're not weak.
Yeah,
it's
no.
strength and brawl, right?
Strength and brawl.
Okay.
Difficulty 5 for the bite.
Yeah. Oh, so 8.
Remember
and
your Hispo.
6. Yes, it's
Okay.
5 dice total with that, because that's +3 to the 2 strength that I have, and 0 brawl.
Nice.
8, 6, 2, 1, and 1. So I think that's just a nothing.
That's a fail. Yeah.
You
You are not used to fighting, period. You're also not used to fighting with this elongated mouth. And as you reach out to try and bite one of its prelim appendages, it just scoots it back, leaving this line of sand and dirt and just splashing some of the water onto you. The water tastes sour. Like it's not poisonous, it's not acrid, but it is sour. It's on its way to becoming acrid and acidic.
Fish was there too long.
It takes advantage of the fact that Cora's right in front of it, and it just will use one of its spiritual powers to regurgitate acid. Oh, if Cora could make a soak roll for me.
Yeah, soak roll coming at you live. Does my stamina go up more? It does.
Good, yeah, good, good.
Yeah. Yep. Is it? I'm trying to remember. Is it 5 and above for soak, or is it
6 and above.
above? Yeah.
Standard difficulty.
Yeah. 3.
3. So you only take 1 lethal. This thing just, you see it stops spurting water out of its gills for a moment, and you hear inside its gullet just this kind of gurgling noise, and the water inside of it just becomes this really putrid smelling, acrid, smoky kind of green bile, and as it vomits it outward, it just starts to acidically eat through your jaw, out on either side.
Gross. Gonna have to take another bath after this.
Right? And you see in the off to the side in the corner of your eyes, all 3 of you are engaged with this thing, and just sitting there on the edge of the lake is the coyote, kind of staring. We go back around. The fish is going to snap its mouth around whatever it can get to. The red talon is going to try a claw this time, and definitely going for one of the legs. What does Wax want to try to do?
I wanna call out to the coyote.
Okay.
He knows what's going on.
What does Cora want to declare for this round?
Cora is making the strategic thought that going after this thing's mouth was a bad idea. So she is going to release the lockjaw on that, and she's going for one of the more stable legs.
Okay. Everyone's going for the legs, so let's have Cora make her attack roll. Are you biting or clawing?
I'm biting.
Okay.
Nom 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 monster flesh.
Yeah. The coyote. What?
I'm just amazed at how many dice I have for this. I know I'm the Ahroun. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah. The coyote is just kind of like, he sees you make eye contact with him, walks, and he just kind of tilts his head. 5 successes. Yeah.
I've got a lot of dice here for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your damage. Oh, finally. I'm rolling a lot of 1s for everybody else, but I finally get to roll some 1s for this guy.
That's a 6 with a 10.
Ooh, you destroy one of the legs.
Yeah.
Just outright.
I just like the idea of her popping down. She kind of looks at Walks with Spirit with this kind of, what are you doing? And then it's just like a lightning jump in and pull. And her.
Yeah. There's enough mass. This thing is massive. It is easily about 14, 15 feet long. So it's about a good 3 or 4 feet tall. So you have plenty of space to just kind of push your paws up against it as you bite down on its leg and rip it actually off of its body.
Yeah.
Calls to Fire is going to try the same thing with a lot smaller dice pool. But hey, he actually got successfuls. So let's see what he can do with his Hispo strength.
Hispo strength.
Oh, that's a bunch of 10s. He does the same thing. He pulls off one of the legs, walks. How do you want to entreat the coyote? You got his attention.
Now, P, old man, you are wise. How can we do this? How can we overcome this trap? Dispel this taint?
He sits up. Oh, I had a good chat with your friend.
Smelly one?
Yes, he's a smelly trap. Uh, but it feels like Garou have not learned from the past.
I'm open to your wisdom.
The trap was set by man. Man has been the problem. And then he kind of looks over at the cave. And then he looks back at you. But you have rules about man. And you see him start to pad towards the cave. And as he does, you see Pepe's little silhouette in the distance.
Okay.
Or even the odds in your favor.
Evens.
1. So the fish will try to lunge out at you. You have no dice to dodge, so all I need is 1 success.
Yeah,
Got it. Just
that's the greatest thing about having the first initiative.
touch and go there. Uh, I have been rolling terrible, and so I'm like, yeah, this regurgitating thing sounds good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lethal.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
Yep. Roll
It's
your
gonna hurt a
soak.
lot. I gotta soak some of this stuff good. Damn.
I mean, your hispo stamina is nice, isn't it? It's like 6.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. But it's still like, damn.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 9s and 2 8s. So 4.
1 gets through.
Yeah. Whew. This is starting to smart though.
Yeah, it bites down. You can feel the crunch of not just the jaw coming down on your body, but the lower part of the jaw kind of coming down at an angle to rehinge itself. Just really kind of starts to pull on the fur and skin and musculature of your body. It is unpleasant.
Uh,
But the third round begins. The fish will declare an ability or of its spiritual points. Walks, what would you like to declare?
How intact is the dam still? Is the dam just like still physically there, kind of?
Not
But
at all. It had
oh,
all the lumber has become this thing's appendages. When Cora and Calls to Fire have ripped out its legs, the trees that were the lumber attached to the dam has actually retaken its shape as a fallen log, but it's become decayed, almost like if a tree had fallen and left alone over time. Wherever it fell, that's where it's kind of hit the ground, reformed into the log that it was, but then just taken this almost like century of aging.
Okay, because I have a path in front of me opened by Coyote, which is I would want to sprint off to the cave, and I can rip out a human's throat. I've got a lot more experience with that
Sure.
than some spider monstrosity. And if that's the root of the cause, uh, that may be an expeditious way to solve this. But uh, is it a reasonable thing for me to get to the cave, or would it be like a journey to get there? And this is
The cave is maybe about 200 to 300 yards from the dam.
okay,
So
and there's
it's a bit
crossing the
away.
dam as well,
No. Remember
or crossing the river.
the tributary that they created isn't big and it isn't deep. It's
Okay,
just to sift dirt.
and what kind of movement?
You
I
could
don't think.
you could probably get there if you just run over there.
Hmm.
It's just you would be 300 yards away, so you wouldn't be able to help Cora or calls to fire. But you do see that Pepe is coming. So you could leave it up to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna do exactly that.
Okay.
And say the problem is there. The problem is man, and rush towards the cave that old man pointed me to.
Excuse me. As you rush up and kind of follow along Coyote's footsteps, right as you're about to come up to him, you hear him, and you don't know if it's him or just Coyote itself, but you hear that kind of Coyote laugh, and he vanishes in front of you. But the distance between where he is and the cave's mouth becomes almost instantaneously gapped by you.
Mhm.
And you can see, you look back and you see that it is still the distance that you saw, but you hurdled it in a single bound. Um, and inside the cave, you can see that there are 3 humans asleep, 3 males. And there's what looks to be uh, a backpack that has this sifting bowl, and you can see maybe like a thin, layer of just gold dust that they've gotten.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be going for throats as soon as I can.
Okay. Uh, calls to
And
fire.
since they're asleep, it should be easy.
Yeah, calls to fire will go for another leg. Pepe, what would you like to declare for this round? You can see them fighting what looks to be this spider trout.
Spider trap.
Okay.
Spider trap.
Spider trap.
Um, I see. I'm guessing 2 giant wolves fighting this spider trout.
Yep. One that you know has Korra's coloring, and one that doesn't have Ardyce's coloring, but is very similar. And
And then
you can see what looks to be Walsh spirits rushing over to a cave.
I'm like pointing at walks with spirits. What? I'm probably gonna go in the direction. He's in a hurry. Walks with spirits.
Oh yeah, and you see that you see that he's looks like he's chasing the coyote for a moment, and
Oh, that's it. That's it.
and
That's
right when he's about to like cross path with the coyote, it almost looks like he blinks into the cave's mouth.
Okay. So yeah, that's all I needed to hear because I was like, wait, hold on. Would I go and follow Walks with Spirits, or would I go with the action? But bringing my little friend, I'm gonna go in that direction. Follow the White Rabbit or the Coyote in this case.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna head towards that direction.
There's a cave. You got it. And what is Cora going to declare for the round?
First off, Cora's very much like, what? Ahroun is only as good as her support. All right. That is fine.
You got a red talent with you.
I do have a red talent with me. I am. I'm starting to get through with playing games. Wolf Fusty. We're getting close to the point of where I'm thinking about shifting to Kranos, but we're gonna give this one more go. I'm gonna go for another leg.
Okay.
Bitey rippy goodness.
Biting Rippy Goodness. Do it. Roll it up.
Yes, I will give you the rolls.
I don't know how helpful Ardyce would have been for this, but this is definitely something that I think she would have enjoyed.
4, and there was a 10.
Oof. Okay. Roll your damage and add one more dice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. With a red talent is. Oh, red talent also got a 10.
I've got. Oh, that's beautiful. I've got 8 dice with the 1 that you gave me extra.
Nice.
And I've got 8, 9s, and 10s. Why can't I roll this good when I'm the storyteller?
No.
Why?
No, thankfully. You rip out another one of its limbs. You see the red talon try to do another one again, and this time his Ragabash shows a little bit more than it should be, and you see him kind of prop his paws up against the body, and he goes to yank, and you just see the trails of his fangs across the tree trunk of a leg, as all he does is just kind of scratch up the leg.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thought you're supposed to be smart.
and you see the tail go from a wagging outward excitement to a stop, and then that curled into its body.
Oh, he feels shame.
Yeah, he do.
Oh,
Pepe, you have a similar moment where you're walking, like you make the decision to follow Coyote, and you take a step, and from where you were to the cave, you've almost traveled instantly. And you can see that you're standing next to Walks with Spirits. He's looking down at what looks to be 3 sleeping humans. And you can see that he's already stepped over one of them, and his maw of a mouth has just kind of extended outward, and it's coming down towards one of its necks.
Whoa. Tranquilo. Hey, Walks with Spirits, what are you doing? They're people.
Do you not see what they did? This is how we stop it. They're the agents of the Weaver. Corrupted and full of bane.
And I look, I guess, am I able to see Cora and Calls with Fire and the Trout Spider?
Yeah.
Uh, This is their fault, huh? I mean, is death really the only answer? An eye for an eye?
This isn't vengeance. This is maintenance.
You see one of them start to stir as he hears you talking to each other.
I'm not gonna be saying another word then.
They won't be able to hear you. They're just gonna think I'm a crazy man talking to a wolf, right? Like, so yeah, a giant wolf had this, you know.
Yeah.
Maintenance.
It is
Sleep.
Walk's turn. So if he has
Oh,
persuaded you.
they're sleeping and defenseless, and you're a giant wolf. I mean, you're supposed to be proud. What type of? This is not a fight.
I attack the human directly.
Okay. Yeah. It's easy enough. You're doing aggravated damage.
Yeah.
So the second you clamp it down on the guy's neck, there's not even a sound, a herc, anything. It's just death.
Now I go to move to the next one as able.
Okay.
Could I spend a rage to just claw out the next one over?
That's when
how it works?
you would need to spend that during the
When I
declaration.
declare it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the fish, you see, starts to just thrash. It pulls its limbs in, and as it falls down towards Cora, it begins to just thrash about. And as it does, you hear all the scales go from segments to clicking and clacking into just it goes from this very pronounced kind of thumping to just this solid mass of just crushing. Well, this is gonna be bashing.
Mm-hmm.
Not...
That's good. We can heal bashing real easy.
Yeah, lethal 2. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm playing it up a little. Lethal, not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as aggravated. Come on.
This is 6 points of bashing.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Roll your Hispo stamina that you're so happy about.
It makes me so happy. There are things that spark joy in this life, and my stamina right now is one of those things.
Right?
Y'all don't probably know this, but I don't play Ahroun's very often.
We didn't know from playing with it.
I got 3 successes.
Okay. You take 3 points of bashing damage.
Yep.
This thing just comes down like an actual boxcar. And you don't even know how it is possible, but every single joint in your body aches at the same time. And there is an imprint of a Hispocora in the ground.
I love that. Just a dire wolf impression.
Yep.
I love it.
So, that's it. So for its declaration, it's gonna extend its limbs out again and go for a bite. It's running out of spiritual points.
Mm-hmm.
Walks. You said that you're gonna be killing another guy.
I'm gonna, if it's possible, go for both the rest of them.
Okay.
Especially if it looks like Pepe is not going to step up.
Yeah. You do have rage, so you could use a rage point.
To give you the extra action.
Give you
Yeah.
the extra action to
Try
kill both of them.
Yes.
The red talon is gonna try to go for another limb to get it off of its legs. Excuse me, Pepe. What would you like to declare for this round?
Wow. To seeing him attack, there's still 2 people left, right?
Yeah.
Still, are they awake or they're still?
No. The one that was stirring is still kind of like in between sleep. Like he's kind of like in the beginning stages of yawning and stretching to kind of try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And the other one is dead, and then the other one is still sleeping.
The other one, bro, roncando, snoring like he's cutting a log.
One waking up, I pull my gun out at him. And like, they one in the chamber.
Okay. Yeah, the sound of the gun hammer cocking back definitely pops one of his eyes open. And Cora, what are you going to declare?
All right. So I think I've been playing a little bit safe now. Or no, I haven't been playing it safe. I'm not the one killing people that are sleeping.
It's easier than if they're awake.
Yeah.
When they're awake, they can run away.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Chasing is fun. Do you not know?
Chasing can
The
be fun.
ways. Yep. It's a whole thing. I'm gonna spend a rage.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go for the wonderful bite claw maneuver. So it's bite to rip off one, and it's one of those kind of things. If it works out right, it's gonna be like a little spin. The tail goes. I'm honoring my ancestors and going for the one of the other legs again.
Roll both your attacks.
Yeah.
Roll for the red talon. Oh, this is a bad time for him.
I've got 3 successes on this for the first attack, which was the bite.
That hits. Roll your damage.
All right.
Ooh.
And we've got three damage from this. No 10s.
Damage. Locked 1, so the leg is injured, but it's still attached.
Okay, we're gonna go for the loop de loop.
Loop de loop, so you're gonna attack the other leg.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for his bow stamina.
Yep.
Oh, that didn't help. Oh.
We've got 4 with 2 10s.
Okay. Add 2 dice to your damage.
Man.
Shit.
See, you're fine. You didn't need us.
Yeah, you got that Ahroun. You don't need us.
It's not how this works.
No, and Ardyce is meanwhile singing Hallelujah and
Yep.
praying in praises of Lord.
Having a good time with the Lord.
Oh, but it's a good montage, cutting between her singing and
Yeah.
bloodbath.
Oh,
That would be dope. It's like,
Yeah.
5
hallelujah.
successes, 110 on that.
okay. You send that limb flying, and at this point, the two that are left on either side of it make it really difficult for it to kind of stay standing. And you see the tail just dig itself down into the ground so that it could stay in a standing position.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Like you see the second you cock the gun back and the guy's eye opens up, you just cut to Ardyce and just being like, I was blind, but now I see
Yep.
the line of Amazing Grace. Yeah, you could definitely do
Yeah.
some what's the name of Baby Driver director?
Oh.
Damn. Edgar Wright.
Edgar Wright. You could do some Edgar
Ooh,
Wright
Edgar
cutting back and
Wright.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
See, I'm seeing a scene from Babylon 5 where there's people getting torn up and they're saying, I don't know.
Ave Maria's
It's
in the
okay.
background.
The Rock cried out, "No hiding place."
Okay.
I was thinking Godfather.
Oh,
The baptism scene.
Oh yeah.
there we go.
That's true. That's a good
Yep.
one.
That's a
Uh,
classic.
Time-honored trope.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Tale as old as time,
Tale as old as time.
or celluloid at least.
Yep. All right, Pepe. The guy's eye has shot open. It is dilated to the point where it's started to dart around until it caught your attention and it's locked eyes with you. And his hand is starting to come up and out from his body towards you.
I'm like, don't do it. No. Do it. What is he? He just.
His hand just starts to come up. His right hand, at least, because he's on his left. It starts to come up towards you.
Nice and easy.
He's like, "Look, I don't know what you're doing here, and give me a perception and alertness roll, please. Difficulty 8.
Man.
His 17 friend show up.
Perception and what else?
An alertness.
Alertness and perception. That's 4 dice. Yeah, it's just something about defenseless people. I don't know. Oh,
Difficulty 8.
yeah, that difficulty rolled under. Let me roll. Well, I got a 9, 8, 8, and let me get the other die.
Okay.
And a 1.
Okay. Yeah, so you see. Damn.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, I thought you hurt yourself.
I'm so glad you didn't.
Yeah. Remember your mic? Bring your mic back down. You see as a one hand is kind of coming up. You don't see his other hand, but you do hear the clack clack of the gun hammer being cocked back.
That's it. Fire.
Okay.
I know. It's just instinct for me to fire.
Yeah.
It's natural.
You're point blank range, so I'm not gonna make you roll for it. But as this fish is struggling to keep itself upright on its last two limbs, Cora hears the thunder crack of a pistol from the cave. And you can see in the nearby trees some birds kind of scatter off. Walks has dealt with gunfire before, so this isn't scary to him. But you do see
Actually
that
have a
calls to
rank in
fire.
firearms.
Yeah, calls to fire. Actually, just kind of like turns in the direction of the sound. And while his attention is kept away, the spider trout brings up one of its speared hip legs and just brings it down, stapling him into the ground. He's still alive, but he's taken 4 points of lethal damage.
Yeah. I'm just straight up thinking that, she sees that turn and it's like, no, you Malaka!
Yep.
Focus.
So Walks, you bring your mouth down around the guy that's snoring, and there is a moment where the second your fangs touch, the snoring stops. You do have a rage action that you were going to use on the other guy, but as you kind of pull yourself up, ripping this tendrils of musculature, tendons and veins and arteries up, you see the trail of smoke starting to come out of the barrel of Pepe's gun, and you just see the dark spatter of blood on the floor where this other guy was. You can still use your action to bite his neck clean. Want to just be safe?
I will, in part because if not,
Yeah,
it looks like somebody got murdered as opposed to wild animals.
correct. Okay. There's no resistance. It is literally just putting your mouth down and closing it, and then opening up. On the beach of the lake, as soon as the last one of the humans is killed, the logs fall off of this trout spirit. The webbings start to melt away. You can see that the damage that has been done to it, it still affected it. Some of the scales have become darkened and putrid, almost necrotic in parts. And as it sits there on the edge of this lake bed, the coyote comes up to it and puts its paw on the forehead, and there is some yipping, yiffing, and a strange kind of half bark from it. And there's a moment where the fish stops, and you can see the eyes kind of glaze over, and it just sits there silent. And as the moment comes over the clearing and there's this quietness, the coyote just kind of nods, pats its head one more time, and slowly the trout starts to vanish from the material plane back into the umbra. In the material plane, you see the kind of sickly trout that had been caught in the sifting river now have this infusion of the current from the lake, the rivers that it feeds into, and they just shoot out into their home. And you can see them start to kind of splash up out of the lake. And this splashing is more in tune with how you've used to seeing them, like glad to not be where they are, to glad to be in this wide open territory of a lake, and they just make for the southern river. Wherever they can go, they shoot out. And Coyote takes a moment, breathes this heavy sigh, and then just kind of looks up at Cora. Not bad.
I try to do what's right.
Hey, you're Garou. You'll fuck it up.
Yeah. And there's just this kind of pause, and then the head just drops a little. Yeah, that's the way of things.
Stop setting my forest on fire. And he starts to walk off.
I sent him to go make sure that it was cleaned up. Did he clean it up?
No, I cleaned it up. Stupid.
Do you need me to punish him?
No, I hit him.
You did? Okay. Because I can. I am
No,
I am lead.
it's a smelly trap.
Yes. And she in full hispo. She's laughing at that, and there's even a point where she rolls. And you see the legs for a second. And
He stops and he looks back at you. He's like, "Be careful with the black-haired woman. I don't like her."
the black-haired woman.
And he looks past you towards the cave. He's like, "Oh, are they okay?" And as you turn back towards your pack,
Yep.
you turn back to see him, and he's gone.
That makes total sense. Freaking coyotes. And now I'm going to go take a look at our Red Talon associate.
He's slowly healing, but he
Is
is
there
kind of
anything I
just
gotta
sitting
pull
there.
out of him?
No, no.
Okay, good.
He has a giant spear-shaped hole in him, but he will live because of his regeneration.
He'll walk it off.
Yeah. He's a red talon.
Yeah.
For the purposes of the damage and the healing, I do have the Mother's Touch. Is that something that would be? I'm not very clear on like the lethal and non-lethal and the health levels and how things come back.
If you offer it, he would appreciate it, but it's not necessary. Lethal damage. Lethal damage and bashing damage is laughable to werewolves.
It's one of those things you could see Cora getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
And she would stop for a minute, like lay there, and then she would get back up.
Yeah.
And start walking.
But he does kind of, once he's fully healed, he'll look around. He'll nod at the group. Good. I'll tell Karen. Thank you.
We do what we can to keep this place safe.
And you see that he goes over, and after a moment, you see what looks to be a small pack of not red dominant, but definitely red spattered wolves that you can only imagine must be his kinfolk, or at least the pack that he kind of was a part of before his change. And he kind of nods to them. There's that semblance of wolf talk, body language, things like that, and they are overjoyed that the lake has become drinkable to them again. And you can see that although you do things for the greater good, it's small things like this that really add up. Because this is now breeding stock that you can use should you choose to go down that road. But you see that he's protective of them. He's the biggest one of his pack, of that pack at least. But he's still, even in his regular lupus form, scrawny, smaller. But at least now, this part of conflict is a little safer. And inside the cave, there is that dish of gold dust in case Pepe has need of money.
I look like I need money.
You don't need money, bro. You
got
a place.
You know what
you got food.
You know what I do? I grab the plate and I kind of toss it deeper into the cave and throw some sand over it and dirt and everything. Just cover it up.
Okay.
Because obviously there are these bodies too. People will come looking and see this gold and continue doing it. So
You could just let the tunnel collapse in on itself.
there's that too.
However you want to do house cleaning, you're fine.
Yeah.
You could claim an animal attack so that people stay away from here. You collapse the tunnel so nobody needs to know what happened. Your choice.
Collapse the tunnel. Collapse the tunnel.
Yeah.
Obviously I'll make sure that Walks with Spirits is out as well.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Is there a strain on the relationship between the two of you? You talk about what your plan is to bring down the tunnel. Do you just kind of take point?
I'm gonna make sure this doesn't happen again.
The tunnel was like a man-made tunnel with like
Yeah.
supports propping it up. It's not just a natural cave, right?
No, it's a tunnel that was dug into the earth.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. It's not a natural cave.
And it only goes down about 10, 15 feet.
Huh.
All right. You have successfully thwarted some humans' greed and what that has done to the surrounding area. Excuse me. By the time you get back down into the city proper, you will see that the church festivities have come to an end. Unfortunately, you've missed all of it. And
oh no.
You see that Ardyce and the father are just kind of chatting outside on the porch. And as you approach, he kind of pats her hand, lets her know that you are coming, then just hands her off to you guys, and you guys go back to the Gilded Apple. All right, so I think this is a good point to call it for tonight. Good job. Everybody survived. Nobody died. I appreciate that. I like when that happens. As always, thank you guys for being here. I'm glad that we are slowly getting the band back together again. It's just a musical chairs situation. But wherever Ardyce is, I hope they are safe and they're having a good time. As always, please, to the audience, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you feel like you need to talk about it, please be aware that it is okay to not be okay. We take mental health on the channel very seriously. If you're watching live in Twitch chat, there's going to be a set of phone numbers so you can find the help that you need in the areas that you live in. If you're not in the United States, there is a link going up, and both the phone numbers and the link will be available in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. Just be aware that mental health is part of our general health. We need to take care of our minds as much as we need to take care of our bodies. So if you feel like you need help, just know that there should not be a stigma or taboo about it, and that there is help for you. Please get yourselves vaccinated. Monkeypox is a thing. It is two words that I never thought I would go together and come out of my mouth at the same time. So please handle that. Take care of yourselves. Flu season is around the corner. I know that I got hit with something hard, so I'm Robitussined up, as it were. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves. If you're a friend or family member or somebody that's a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them. You never know how far a simple hello or how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. I get to play with my friends, so I hope that you stick around so you can play with your friends. Friday, we come back to Dungeons and Dragons. Monday, we are visiting our Camarilla coterie for Vampire the Masquerade. And next Tuesday, we will be heading back to Rokugan for our Legend of the Five Rings game. We will see our partners in a couple of weeks for the last episode of this little break, as I will be running the fourth and final season of Mage on McStabber Studios. Highly recommend you check that out. I'm hoping to go out with a bang. So we'll see what happens. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you when we see you. Have a good night, guys.